This video is going to be very, very crucial. Whether you're new to this channel or you've been here for a while. I'm going to talk a little bit more and open up a little bit more about what I know. And this is going to be about the world to come. Because so far I haven't been wrong. I've learned to trust my intuition. It was many years ago where I had said that the Matrix was not ending. A lot of people were saying it was the end of the world. I'm like, no, it isn't. It's not even close yet. And there were many other things that I decided to trust my intuition and the things that were being communicated to me. And I'll put it to you this way, I'm not sorry that I did. It hasn't been perfect at all. In fact, it's been a very rough ride. And it wasn't until I started to fully reclaim myself and become better than I ever thought I could be as a human being that the attack really started happening and events started unfolding. It seemed like I never had a shortage of what I thought were friends when I was a hopeless loser, when I was somebody who really didn't have an immensity of self-respect like I do now. I didn't look that great. I was skinnier. I was far less capable. Hair was falling out. Not that it matters, but I was always, cutting my hair, getting haircuts, stuff like that. I cared a lot about what I looked like, and it was not all about image, because I was still a truth seeker, but I didn't realize what that would actually lead to. So I was always concerned with packaging the outward appearance, if that makes sense. And it turned out through a test of time that in some ways within I was stronger than I thought. And in other ways I realized I had a lot more work to do. But the point is that I buckled down and I did the work, and that was what made all the difference so far. I never would have even dreamed of surviving what I had been through over this last year alone, because it was an immensity that most people can't fathom is even real. And I'm not saying this to be insulting, but if you've never lived on the street, if you've never slept behind a dumpster, if you've never done any real survival prep, if you've never ran for 5 to 10 miles with a backpack on and done workouts all day on top of that, and then walked for 14 hours straight or more, then you don't know the level of intensity that I'm talking about. And again, that's no disrespect towards you. I don't mean to be insulting. It's not anything like that. I'm just saying that you don't know what it's like to be me. That's all. My channel it could benefit anybody if they listen, and I mean actually listen. But it's for a very specific person who sees to some extent what's up ahead. You know that we don't have a lot of time. You know that the world is going down the toilet and that this is a toilet world. It's circling the bowl. And if I'm saying that, that means something's coming. Because years ago when everybody was saying the world, or most people, a lot of people at least, were saying the world was ending and the Matrix was shutting down, I'm like, no it isn't. And I knew it wasn't. I knew we had years ahead. And most people hadn't even begun to do the work that they were going to need to do in order to prepare for that. If you don't want to self-exit, great. I respect your decision. It's your decision. But to not prepare, to me, is insanity. And by prepare, I even mean to prepare for exit, because when I say prepare for exit, what I mean is exit the way of the world more than anything. Like, how can anyone who claims to have a heart observe what's going on and take part in it and then claim that they're a truth seeker, or claim that they're benevolent, or that they want to live in a much different place, or a place that they could call paradise? Because I'll tell you right now, the gate isn't just going to open in front of you. It doesn't work that way. Some of us, with what I know, we do come from places that I would consider a paradise, at least compared to this. But what matters most is the quality of consciousness in that paradise. And I don't believe at all that God or whatever just waves a magic wand and makes you all better when life is over. If you haven't worked through certain issues within yourself, you're going to take that with you. And that can't be allowed. You can't poison an environment like that. It becomes toxic, just like this one. We live in the world that we do mainly because of the quality of consciousness that exists within this realm. And that's why it is the way that it is. If you have interest in a video on how to learn nearly everything I know as far as packing a bag and knowing exactly what you're doing with it, just about exactly what you're going to need for an all-around survival scenario, meaning you might be on the streets, you might be in the woods a little bit, you might be at the beach, kind of like a prepare for anything, and keep it as lightweight and as simple as possible. I have found the exact way to do it through a lot of practice, meaning I actually did backpacking trips. I have been in situations that scared the holy fuck out of me. I've had to toss my bag while running on the highway because of an emergency situation, or what I thought was an emergency. Realizing that, hey, when you're in that situation, you just got to let certain things go because it's just stuff. What is actually necessary? And spirituality is exactly like that too. The whole time, if you decide to embark on the journey, if you're somebody that said, I want freedom, and you see that this world is entirely backwards, if you said, I want freedom, and God heard you, if you believe in God, well, then God heard you if you said that, even if it was only in your heart. Well, then your actions must align with what you believe and with what you say, or else it becomes delusion. And that's something I actually once heard somebody else say. He said, what was it? I'm trying to think of the exact quote. It was right along those lines, like, it was beliefs without action is delusion. In other words, also saying something that I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that. Or you think you're capable of something that you're not. Truth doesn't look at somebody and go, oh, well, they're a Christian or they're a truther or they are a good person. And, you know, they're polite. They hold doors for people. Well, that's not going to matter when there's riots breaking out in the street and you're literally seeing people getting raped in the street, and you find out that we've been surrounded by hordes of demons, vampiric demons no less, our entire lives, and that they told us to stay calm and acted like everything was A-okay and gaslit the living fuck out of us for a very specific reason, because there was going to be a feast later. Believe it or don't believe it, I don't give a shit. It's happened before and it's going to happen again. This is why people in this world are so fucking evil. Hunting and killing animals is not natural. It's evil. It's wrong. Raping people, making sexual advancements on somebody without permission is wrong. It's evil. Staring at somebody when you're making them uncomfortable and you won't stop because you think, oh, I'm a guy and I have a dick, so I'm allowed to just stare at her and make her feel some kind of way that she doesn't want. It's wrong. Violation of anyone at all, when they've done you no wrong, is wrong. And it will always be wrong. You can't bring this kind of shitty behavior into a good world where free will is allowed. Because why would free will not be allowed in a good place? It's crazy to me that people actually think that they should just be able to do whatever they want to anyone. That could include cursing somebody, believe it or not, because all that's seen as well. Cursing somebody from afar, one of the most cowardly things you could do when they have done you no wrong. It's the same thing as firing a gun at somebody who didn't do anything wrong to you. And they're like, stop shooting me, stop shooting me. And you just keep shooting at them. Intention is everything. If you want to learn what I know, leave a comment. I'm probably going to do a video anyway because I don't see what it matters. I'm always giving my heart for free, and it shouldn't be that way. I have worked so damn hard for everything that I earned, for everything that I learned and everything I earned. And I would teach anybody who's willing, out of the kindness of my heart. Thank you to the people who have been donating. There's 2 of you, and you know who you are. I would like to say your names, but unfortunately, I don't want to bring you negative attention. I'm so sorry. You know, I'll call you K and H. You know who you are. Thank you so much for your kind deeds. It made a difference. It kept me going. It gave me the necessities that I needed to keep going. Thank you for what you did. Thank you for what you did. I appreciate it. It made a difference. And so I'd like to give something back, even if it's only for one person that watches the video and watches it over and over again and makes their own checklist and packs their own go bag, and now they feel a lot better about what's up ahead because they practice. Say, you take inspiration from this channel and you practice. And now, hey, like a year later or whatever, you're online and you hear that there's this huge outbreak. There's a new virus or something, and it makes COVID look like some sort of a sissy event. And now you know that you don't have to get on a government program. You took it upon yourself to learn various methods of exercise. You learned basic self-defense. You developed yourself. You learned how to jog. And I mean really jog for miles. In the heat, in the cold. You learned how to carry somebody else's stuff if you need to. You learned how to pick up your child and run if you need to. If you have kids and you can't do that, I'm telling you, you're doing the wrong thing. It should be a requirement for every parent. You got to be able to pick up your child and run. You should at least know that you know how. And that applies to everybody. I'm not singling anybody out. That applies to every person on this planet. If you can't pick up your kid and carry them for miles, don't have them. You're literally not fit to be a parent. I'm sorry, but it is what it is. Don't have them. I'm not talking about your 18-year-old son, although you might have to do that too. I don't know. Or daughter or whoever. That's one reason why good diet and exercise should be part of every family, because you don't want fat kids. You don't want to have to... Fat people, no offense, unless you have a bodily issue that has made you that way against your will, I'm sorry, I'm not making fun of you. You come to realize that fat, unhealthy people, I'll see people at McDonald's in there to use the bathrooms. I'm not eating there. And you'll see these hugely overweight people sit down with their overweight kids and gorge themselves on a big McDonald's meal. And you're sitting, or at least in my case, I'm sitting there going, what the actual friggin' fuck? This is child abuse. It's child abuse. The kid doesn't know. How do you think they're going to fare when shit really hits the fan? They're not even going to be able to run. And if you think it can't happen, you're out of your mind. I'm not even going to listen to you. I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm not even going to listen to you because I know you don't know. And I know you're not paying attention. Those who care, prepare. And that means you care about yourself and you have self-respect and you care about others that you protect. There is no, I'll just chance it. It probably won't happen. With everything we've seen, to say I'll chance it probably won't happen is insane. And it makes you a bad person. It does. It makes everyone who thinks that way a bad person. And you know somebody's full of shit when they're like, no, I shouldn't have to insert excuse. Insert whiny bitch excuse here. We've all got them. I have them, you have them, we all do. No, so you're saying, I should have to get up and learn how to walk 3 miles a day? At the very least, yes. at the very least. And even that is not nearly enough, given what I think is up ahead. Go feel free to listen to somebody else who's telling you something different. I don't care. How am I supposed to care about you when you don't care about yourself? And you don't care about those that you look after? How am I supposed to care about you when you won't do the work? I've said this to myself over and over again, let alone anyone else in public. There's no right way to say it to people, because no matter what you say, you're going to sound like a jerk. Just like a drill instructor in the military who knows that his troops are going to go overseas and get their asses handed to them if he doesn't tell them the truth about where they stand. It's not mean, it's love. We don't live in a good world. I'm sorry. I hate it too. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even be apologizing because I didn't do this. Evil people did. And what's even worse sometimes is the people who do nothing. And this is why we lose. We could have went, at the very, very least, we could have went down swinging as a family, as a team. Couldn't even do that. I know some people did. Thank you to those people. I'm not talking about everybody. If you're offended by this video, why don't you ask yourself why that is? Because if you're doing all these things in truth, you wouldn't be offended. So maybe put 2 and 2 together and be like, why does my pussy hurt when I listen to his videos? But not some other new age love and lighter who's like, oh no, you're loved. You are loved. But this is part of love. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm not going to whisper sweet nothings into your ear. It's a lie. And every day and every moment is a choice to not be a liar. I don't know exactly what's up ahead. But I am pretty damn sure I know exactly what's up ahead to some extent. Does that make sense to you? Meaning, if I tell you something other than what I truly think, I have now just lied to you, and I refuse to do that. We are going to live in a true apocalypse. I was told there was going to be miraculous things that happened, but that they should not be counted on, and that we still needed to prepare. And that was very specific. It was sort of going to be like a Noah's Ark scenario where the animals were actually going to show us a secret way out of this place. And I'm not even, you can't even talk about this in public these days. I had made a video about it years ago and I made it private because it was embarrassing to say that, to say and tell people what I had seen and the information that I was entrusted with, knowing that I'm going to be laughed at, knowing that I'm going to be ridiculed, knowing that I'm going to be looked at as mentally ill, even though I'm so mentally sane that I can actually acknowledge that I could be wrong about that. If I was truly insane or mentally ill, I wouldn't question it at all. I question myself daily. I question all information, every thought. I only want what's real. I only want the truth. But if we do have some sort of a mass exodus event, as other people have spoken about, I'm not the only one. I made a video about it many, many years ago. I have proof of it, still documented. Big aircraft going overhead suddenly. Looks like a big helicopter. And if I showed you my life, if I could somehow show you what happened during the event where I was shared that information with, it was bonkers, meaning like this whole place went off. This whole place and its minions went nuts on me. I'm not kidding. We aren't where any of you think we are. But I know that we all have true homes. And I do know that on the other side of all this, we are deeply loved. Deeply loved. And it doesn't matter what they do to us, they can't take that away from us. You cannot remove that truth. Even if you beat every single last one of us to dust, you didn't fucking win. But why should we let that happen? I'm somebody who has the expertise, as in true experience, to train somebody for a real survival scenario. The best I'm aware of. And that's not a joke, and that's not an exaggeration. And you realize, like anything else in this scam world, when you daily dedicate yourself, and that means almost all day, every day, to your craft, and you become damn good at it, you realize that a lot of the info and a lot of the people you see online are fake. AI generated fake. AI is lying to you. AI has always existed here. Since the day you were born, even if that was in the 50s. And it had these videos already made in a computer, in my opinion. Decades ago. The videos that are coming out today, they're showing you this. It's a planned showing of the hand. A planned showing of the hand. They're showing you the stages of AI development. It's already been fully developed. It's just showing you the stages and how it happened. It's a repeat of something that already happened. And people made a huge mistake when that happened. Many people. It promises convenience and it sucks away your life force. It promises a lot of things. And it takes away who you are because it requires your soul. It wants to think for you. It wants to drive for you. Eventually, it will go to work for you. Oh, wait, it already is, because people have been making clones longer than you or I were even aware that such a thing even existed. How do you think these business tycoons and these masters of finance are able to work the long hours that they do and still have time for everything else? Cloning is a business, and there's many cloning facilities and cloning labs that you and I know nothing about. That's a fact, and you can research it if you don't believe me. Many people in the last decade have come forward about it. Clones themselves have come forward about it. Raised in a cloning facility. For people to even deny this now is just, wow, you're delusional. You just don't want the truth. Humanity is about to make the biggest mistake of its entire existence, as far as I know. They are going to be fully integrated with the AI. This place turns people into robots. It is a robot-making facility. Hence why you're a financial slave, working for credits, called dollars, or wherever you live, and the currency is under some other name. It's the same thing. Pushing up numbers on a screen, you being treated like a number, to work for a system that only cares about numbers. And you think it's some other kind of way, you're out of your damn mind. You are out of your mind. The purpose of humans is to be financial slaves. It's not supposed to be, but that's the way it is. So either you say okay and you go along with that. It starts with the Bluetooth and the headphones, actually. The headphones, and then the phone. And then the Bluetooth. And then the implant. And then the retinal implant. And then there's several more before what actually finally happens. Also, the synthetic body parts that they're replacing people with. They're not telling you that they can cure any, and I'm telling you right now, any human ailment you can imagine, organically. But why are they putting synthetic implants into people? I promise you that the ability to do this exists. They're lying to people. Deliberately lying to people to get them implanted with robot parts. Because what do they want? Singularity, as they say. Transhumanism. It's the real deal. It's not a joke. Transhumanism is already happening. It's been happening. They're turning humans into robots. It sounds like some childish sci-fi thing that somebody would have said back in the 90s and been laughed at, but guess what? They would have been right. They would have been laughed at by everybody, but they would have been and probably taken off to like the nearest, psych ward, or worse. But guess what? They would have been telling the truth and they would have been right. So what does that tell you about the state of consciousness that humanity is in right now? They would have been treated like a crazy person, even though they were completely sane, telling the truth and accurate. To be truly crazy is to literally deny the truth, To be insane, mentally insane, is to deny the truth and to lie in return when you should know what the truth is. To say that reality is something other than what it actually is. That's crazy. And that's a kind of crazy I want nothing to do with. And that's what most people are, unfortunately. In denial of what reality actually is. In favor of the reality that they think it should be, that it is not. And never will be, in my opinion. That's crazy. To deny the facts, to deny the truth is crazy. That should be considered psychosis to get you locked up for life if you don't stop. That's crazy. Crazy is not warning humans about the errors of technology and the fact that it is being used to enslave the human species. That's not crazy at all, because that's actually what's happening. I have some of the skills that can help people that I'm willing to give you for free. Do I appreciate donations? Yes. I hate this system. I'm using only the bare minimum to get by with what I need. I have somebody coming somewhere near me. I'm not going to say where, because I'm not going to say who they are or what I'm doing or what they're doing. I don't know anyone that. I don't know you. And I would train anybody who is willing to show up. I'm not coming to you, but I'll give you everything I have to the best of my knowledge for free if you show up and you put the work in. And I'll stay, because that's worth it. I am not staying if people are going to do nothing about this in the form of physical solutions. Meaning you are going to do whatever it takes to learn the skills to spit in the face of this evil satanic world and walk away from it and mean it. I'm not playing the game of, oh, let's just wait a few more years online like a bunch of sitting ducks. No, I'm not doing it, because that's what they want. Don't you get it? They want you listening to videos and spacing out, making yourself feel better, like the exit is on the horizon when it's not. I promise you it's not. You're not getting out of here without doing the work. Nobody is. That's what I think. It is what it is. You don't have to believe it. This is how I feel best, when I make videos with passion, the way I used to. And I know what I'm saying is truthful. But you can't do that because of the energy and how fierce it is. And other people who are completely against the truth and deny that too, they say that they're truthers, and they would call somebody, they're so delusional, they would call somebody like me a liar, who's being brutally honest, to a fault, if there is a such thing. Because they don't like the tone of my voice. They don't like the way that I look. They don't think that, being a real man is the way, is the key, when it actually is for a lot of men who are supposed to be real men. But instead, today's version of a, quote, man is sitting behind a desk or a kiosk, watching numbers on a screen go up and down, having a beer gut that extends at least a foot out from where their nipples are, and that's with man tits, hanging down, flopping around, a breeze blows by and they jiggle. That's not a man. That's a slob who doesn't give a shit about other people, and certainly doesn't have true self-respect. And that's exactly who this system employs, because it's exactly the kind of slop fuck that they want to just stand by and do absolutely nothing about injustice. Because guess what? They won't. You know why? Because they don't know how to. They don't have the skills of freedom. They don't know how to do jack shit when it counts. All they know how to do is type on a friggin' keyboard and make money. That's a robot. That's a fat man titty, fucking jiggling, pathetic slob robot. That's not a man, just to be clear. That's not a man at all. And if you think otherwise, keep in mind, study our forefathers and what they went through. Study the real information of the Constitution. Just do some damn research if you don't believe it. I'm not asking you to believe it. I'm telling you to do your research if you don't believe it. Study what the Native Americans were like and what they actually would have looked like. Thin, because they went days or sometimes weeks without eating. And guess what? They were still warriors. Sometimes they traveled on foot for months with their entire family. You're talking about probably one of their 7-year-old children is stronger than the average fully grown man these days, by a lot. By a lot. You know why that? Do you know why that kept people healthy and why that made them strong and able to actually defend themselves? Because that was the true way of things. That was the earthly life. Being out amongst the trees. Learning how to protect yourself from the elements by being in them. And developing thick hide, quite literally. Learning how to run for long periods of time in case something ever happened to your child and they needed medicine, or you had to carry them because they broke their ankle. That was called love. Running all night with your son or daughter in your arms. And guess what? They could do it too because they weren't pussies. They weren't pushovers like most of America, who without a car wouldn't be able to do fucking anything to save their kid's life because they don't even know what herbs to look for anyway. Good luck is all I gotta say when the real Hunger Games begin. Good luck. You're gonna need a whole heaping shitload of it. Good luck, America. Good luck. And that includes to me too, because I don't even have half the skills. Even with everything I've done, it's not even close. We actually need a miracle, but to depend on God for that is wrong, because God says to prepare. Why is it always God's fault when people do stupid shit? Why is it always up to God to come in and save you when you didn't do shit about it? How is God supposed to, if you do believe in God, it depends what you believe, I guess, but how is God supposed to use somebody who doesn't prepare, who doesn't move their body, who isn't healthy, who's a sitting duck, who doesn't want to do anything besides play fucking video games all day? How is God going to use somebody like that when you don't want to be bothered to get up and run? You don't want to learn any real life skills. You don't even want to learn how to shave a stick to make a tent stake. Because using a knife is violence. Do you really believe that bullshit? You don't want to learn how to filter water because, oh, I don't want to believe that the world could ever come to that. It's already there. In certain places, it's already there. Good luck getting people to get up and take an all-day hike. It literally doesn't happen anymore. They look at you like you're crazy. "10 miles is nothing. That's a bitch walk. I'm sorry, but it is. Sucks, doesn't it? I'm not saying it's the only answer. I'm talking about a combination of, first of all, acknowledgement of truth. Yes, faith, if you have it. Praying every day, being in prayer, studying the Bible, meditating. Asking yourself always, what is the exact truth of this scenario? What is really happening right now? Who am I? Not only what do I want, but what is best for myself and those around me with the world that is already on the horizon? Who am I going to need to be if things keep up on this trajectory? Because you bet your ass they will. And you don't want to bet your sorry ass that they won't. Because they will. They will. You're going to see a huge division taking place. You're going to see real, true souled consciousness, and you're going to see that consciousness is and has always been surrounded by artificial minds everywhere. Everywhere. And you're going to see this mass division taking place. You're going to see demonic possession for what it really truly is, and the unbelievable ugly and the nasty that it can actually be, that people aren't even acknowledging. You're going to see it for real. And then, you know what, truth be told, I think Mother Earth is going to have her say. And that's going to be even uglier. It is going to be so cataclysmic and so catastrophic that you haven't seen any movie like this. You aren't even going to believe it when it happens. And you don't want to be one of the ones who didn't care. You don't want to be one of the ones who was eating animals and hunting animals and skinning animals and doing all kinds of fucked up shit to the sacred creatures that you had no right to hurt. You don't want to be on their team. Trust me on that, please. Or don't. I say that with some anger. Is that okay if I get a little bit angry at the things that are being done? To beautiful creatures who don't deserve to be hurt? Who never did you or I a wrong. Ever. But you can't say that because that's hate speech now. Talking about being against hunting is hate speech. Being against animal cruelty, it makes people uncomfortable, doesn't it? Being against people driving and poisoning the environment and running deer over and squirrels and cats and raccoons and possums is hate speech. You're not even allowed to say it without the room getting quiet and awkward and people change the subject. Because they don't care about anyone. Why do you think when you're on the, have you ever tried backpacking and walking on the road? I mean on the sidewalk or if you have to move to the road, unfortunately, and walk a little bit on the road? They don't even see you. Do you know why? Because they lost their sight a long time ago. You are among the walking, driving, living dead. I promise you. And you're going to realize it. And I hope for you, you don't have the same thing happen to you that many of us did many times ago, I'll just say, where you realize that you're surrounded by nobody, surrounded by people, but no one's there at all. And you don't have any friends with you. You don't have anyone who gets it. You don't have a real light in sight because you told us all to piss off. You didn't want to go fishing, and I'm against that now. It's literally for emergency only. Okay, I'm working on certain things too. I'm not perfect. But that would be an example. You didn't want to learn bushcraft. You were too tired to go hiking every time, conveniently, because you don't like to sweat and hiking hurts you for some reason more than it hurts the average person. Exercise and working out just ain't for you because it's uncomfortable and it hurts you and you're old and some other excuse that literally every other person could have made. You didn't want to do that either. You didn't want to learn how to work with your hands and learn how to use tools the old-fashioned way. The stuff you were going to need in a crisis that's on the horizon already and is actually going to happen, I would say guaranteed. You didn't want to do that either. You wanted the office job that paid you more money so that you could sit in the air condition and, oh, look at that. You didn't want to be out in the cold. You didn't want to run out in the cold. You didn't want to train in the heat because that was uncomfortable and that hurt. Just like it hurt every real fucking man and woman who did it before you, but did it anyway because they have somebody or something that they protect and they love them more than you can imagine. I ain't talking about your version of love where it's like, I love you. It means fucking dirt shit. I'm talking about real love. Meaning over my dead, mutilated, fucking burnt carcass, are you gonna touch the one I love? I'll stay up all night if I have to. I'll stay up for 3 days if I have to make sure they have what they need. I won't sleep. I won't eat. I'll carry them on my back, even though my body's beat. And you barely done shit. That's love. And thankfully in my home world, and I don't give a shit what anyone says about this, you can believe whatever the hell you want. I'm not going where you're going. We're from different places. I'm not going where you're going. I don't belong to you, and you don't own me. I'm from a place where somebody just like that and beyond, way beyond what I just said, created it. My true father. And I'm not even going to say any more about that because I don't know you that either. Humans don't get to just fuck with the planet, fuck with each other, fuck with animals, tell lies all day long, and use the law to destroy people's lives and get away with it. It doesn't work that way. Oh, you'll get away with it for a while, just like every liar in history has. It will go on and you'll get rewarded. The government will give you all kinds of rewards. They'll fatten you up with their fucking prize money. You best believe it. What do you think they're doing to people? Why do you think all these fast food places exist? Drugs and truth, what that's gonna, you're gonna see these people freaking explode. They're gonna be in the streets like big fat shit balloons. Don't believe me? Find out. Stay here long enough and you'll see that exactly what I said is gonna happen. And let me tell you this, if you were a warrior, if you trained and you fasted, you studied, you prayed, you walked, and you talked, but you mostly walked. On the other side, and I think possibly even here in this life this time around, everything you are inside is exactly what you are. If you lived your life by the warrior's code, if you trained like a warrior, you fought like a warrior, you refused to go down like a warrior, you look like, well, I'll say not exactly like you would think. You look and are beyond what you can even fathom a warrior looks like. And I'm telling you this as somebody with true experience who knows that the meat suit that I am piloting right now is a piece of friggin' garbage. Not that it really matters, because what you do with your spirit is what truly matters. But what I did with my spirit is an immensity that most people can't even fathom a human being could do. And I didn't do it for money. I did it for a lot of the right reasons. Sometimes it was the wrong ones, but I still did my workouts. People say it doesn't matter. It does matter. Because in truth, you are what you earn. It doesn't matter if you weren't a professional NBA player. That's what doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you didn't have a job that said you're allowed to do this thing that you're great at. That's the part of it that it doesn't, you could be a brilliant musician who practiced every day, 8 hours a day, and you're incredible, and the world doesn't even know your name. But guess what? It doesn't change the fact that you're incredible. You are, you earned it. So guess what? On the other side, guess what you're gonna be? Even more incredible, because that's what you are. In truth, it doesn't work any other way. It's not, oh, you have a degree, oh, so therefore you're better than this person who barely, well, they got their degree, but I know they never practice and they don't have any real field experience with that thing. But they got a degree, so that means that they're, no, it doesn't work that way at all. A degree doesn't mean fucking anything on the others, anything at all, unless that degree is rooted in truth, which should still be a piece of paper certifying you to be something of the sort. Then it might matter. But this education system, oh my God, no. They call it getting your BS for a reason, because for the most part, not all of it, but for the most part, it's BS. And you pay out the ass for it. And guess what later they're gonna do? They're gonna pay out the ass even more for it, because they're all full of fucking shit. Your BS and whatever the fuck you think you are does not give you the right to rule over the life of even one person, maggot. It doesn't give you that right, bug. You don't like it? Go pound sand. Kill me. I wish one of you who hates my guts, honestly, I've wanted this for years, I wish one of you pussies would come down to where I am, would contact me via email and say, Derek, I'm gonna come there and I'm gonna kill you. I wish you would do it. I literally wish you would grow some freaking balls and actually do it instead of torturing people online like a fucking pussy. And I still love you anyway, you and all of your mental retardation, because I would never want to slam the door on you eternally and leave you all alone to rot for all eternity, because at some point you might come to terms with yourself and you might wake up and realize what you did to people. And I don't want that to happen to you. You want to hate me? I'm the last person you want to hate, because I know what it's like to be abandoned. I know what it's like to be truly hurt and let down and totally fucked over by everybody you thought said they loved you. I'm the one who would never give up on you, and you're gonna spit in my face? It's so wrong. So either you cheer me on and be a true friend, and you come here and put your money where your mouth is and help out and learn some skills and come be with somebody that you supposedly care about, or go away. You don't want to do that? I can't make you. I'm not fucked up like other people where I get joy in telling other people what to do. I hate it. Even when I'm teaching skills to people, I hate it. I hate telling people what to do. I don't have the right to command another person what to do. So what gives the police that right? What gives a judge that right? What gives anyone that right? You don't have that right. And you better hope there ain't somebody bigger and tougher than you watching all of it. You don't have the right to command another person what to do with their body. It's theirs, not yours. Have they hurt you? Have they hurt you should be the question. Do you need to defend yourself and shut their body down? No? Then why are you telling them what to do when they didn't ask for that? If they ask you, tell me what to do, and you oblige, that's a different story. That's consent. If they tell you, I want you to kiss me, and you want to kiss them and you do, you did nothing wrong. I don't care if they say, I want you to punch me in the face. If you do it after they asked you to and you said, okay, are you sure? And they're like, yep, punch me in the face. And you do it, you're not a bad person. You did nothing wrong. That's consent. How few people understand what I just said is pathetic. And it's the problem with this world. You don't have the right to go shoot an animal or stab an animal or hit an animal with your car. I understand accidents happen, but it happens way too much for it to be coincidence. You don't have the right to put your hands on somebody and have your way with them when they tell you, they shouldn't even have to tell you no. You don't have the right to stare at them when they say, stop, you're making me uncomfortable. You don't. Do the right thing and apologize. Make it right. Or just leave. Basically, the only true law should be don't fuck with people, okay? Don't fuck with anyone. Go hang out with people who like the same things you do, who, if they want to fight or they want to train, spar, shoot guns at each other, whatever, go hang out with them. Everybody in favor? Does everybody consent? Yep. Okay. Well, then have at it. Why do people think that they have the right to violate consent? I don't get it. No one has that right. You aren't more special. You're not an exception. You don't have the right to attack people online and rip their lives apart. Or what, because you're behind a computer, it's okay that you psychologically tortured them? It's not okay. In fact, it's even worse, in my opinion, because it makes you such a bitch. At least when you say something to somebody's face, they can fight back. If they don't want you abusing them psychologically like that. At least when you put your hands on somebody, they can block you and hit you back. But online, you don't know who these people are. I just want people to stop. We'll never have peace until people understand what I'm talking about. And I'm not the only one, okay? It's not about me and it's not because I'm giving this message. It's the message. It's what's being said. Because it is truth. It is unadulterated truth. You can't fuck with this truth. It is eternal. You're not okay the way that you are if you disagree with this. You're not okay at all. A lot of people in this world are very, very sick. And they need real help. They need to help themselves out of this pit. You're not right if you think it's okay to violate life around you. You're not okay. You just don't realize it because you live in a world full of people who tell you it's fine or ignore it. It doesn't make it fine. It doesn't make it okay. I don't care if all of you leave this channel and disagree with this message. I don't care. I don't care if I never see another dime again. You want to test me on that? I'll still be doing videos. I'll still help even one person who wants to learn how to pack a bag so they can get away from the online world and all of these sick motherfuckers who think they have the right to torture people psychologically like it's a friggin' full-time job. You want the video? Give me a comment. Let me know. I would help anybody who is willing to put the work in.